Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present. My name is Camille Andrews, and I am here as an independent researcher to discuss the future of Caribbean museums through co-imagination, art pedagogy, using the Creative Residency program at the Central Bank Museum of Trinidad and Tobago as a case study. The program awarded 2 residencies to a visual and performing artists, allowing them to work within the bank's museum and auditorium teams respectively. Art materials and mentorship were provided to support the development of a final exhibition. My study takes on an auto-ethnographic approach as the artist in residence from August 2023 to July 2024 for the bank's museum. Qualitative methods were used to assess how well the program bridges artistic practice with community engagement. I conducted 5 in-depth interviews with Central Bank staff, program educators, and artists over email in September 2024. Mr. Joseph, the auditorium operations officer, highlighted the unique ability of the residency to expose artists to a variety of performing and visual art events hosted by the bank. From Jackie Hingson's sculptures, 5 decades in the making, to Guy Beckel's collaborative kinetic art and Akazuru's installations crafted from recycled materials, the range of contemporary art exhibits has taught me about the resources, time, and dedication necessary to build a lifelong career in the arts. Additionally, the museum has engaged in interdisciplinary collaborations, building communities with literary and public art organizations and community museums. Reflecting on what it means to be an artist in a bank setting, I shared my practice with staff through lunch and learn sessions, discussing ways that we can all make our lives into works of art, and celebrated Diwali with the wearable henna designs inspired by African and Asian iconography to support cultural diversity within the institution. I had the opportunity to learn critical art writing from Dr. Marsha Pierce, a Caribbean cultural theorist whose work intersects visual culture, communication, and audience studies. When asked how residents can influence museums' educational programming, Dr. Pierce emphasized the artist's subject matter, creative questions, and making process can all feed a curriculum. Adopting a co-imaginative approach that blends memory, sensory experience, and collaborative storytelling, I designed and facilitated workshops that help shape both the artwork and the educational programming for the final exhibition. This included workshops crafting a hummingbird habitat from recycled plastics for the Zoom Zoom Museum takeover, and an emotional mapping workshop for at-risk youth in partnership with UNDP and Chosen Hands. The experience allowed me to improve engagement in workshop and management of group dynamics. In an interview with Mr. Dillon, a workshop facilitator using forum and playback theater to engage audiences in the museum, he emphasized the power of personal stories in creating meaningful connections. Using co-imagination to connect individual stories to broader audiences, I explore how exhibitions influence audience responses through emotion and behavior. This approach draws on Rupert's human exhibition interaction model, which examines relationships across various interactions between humans and technology, body and mind, and consumer-environment dynamics. Curating the Playing Self exhibition for Carnival 2024 allowed me to explore Carnival through a collective imagination. The Play Your Mark section served as an educational space dedicated to demystifying narratives around the spiritual and aesthetic aspects of devil march traditions. The exhibition included areas that encourage personal creativity and emphasize sensory, social, and emotional engagement with sections like Build Your Mask and Play Your Music, engaging visitors directly with the music and materials of Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. Building on my presentation at Rex Nettleford Arts Conference at the Edna Manley College in October 2023, I moderated the panel discussion that we talk, which brought together musicians, mask makers, educators, and performers in the carnival industry to discuss their practices, influences, creative processes, and interdisciplinary approaches. Mrs. Naima Mwakil Zakuri, senior curator at the Central Bank Museum, remarked that the event served as a model for future programs aiming to make experiences more accessible and inclusive for diverse communities. In my final exhibition, When the Night Changes, I explored world building through Yoruba cosmology, examining our relationship to the past, present, and future through three spheres of existence: the ancestral, the living, and the unborn. Co-imagining a Caribbean story of creation using African, Indian, and indigenous cosmology, 5 jumbies of Juve are set within the simultaneously occurring night festivals of Juve and Shivratri. Each character is adapted to overcome the Kubler-Ross 5 stages of grief in a quest to reclaim cultural heritage. This approach fostered a dynamic intersection between art, identity, and digital expression through 3D sketches, and 3D relief paintings. Augmented reality features are woven throughout the exhibition to create an immersive experience through digital storytelling. The digital artwork layered on the paintings connected cultural heritage and agricultural food cycles to food-secure futures. The exhibition explored the existence of beauty in the absence of light through an arrangement of broken mirrors and reflective black glass sourced from recycled television screens to build a circular economy within my practice. Through social media and interactive platforms, these digital tools can provide a unique space for ongoing conversation and collaboration, broadening the exhibition's reach and impact. In an innovative intersection of art, storytelling, and financial literacy, I designed the 5 jumbies of Juve food security workshop to integrate the exhibition and the museum's supermarket simulation, which combines historical data on food prices with an interactive shopping experience, offering a microcosm for understanding broader food security issues. Workshop participants engaged with real-world data, making predictions about future food prices and reconsidered personal food choices in the context of global challenges. In collaboration with food and nutrition specialist Zakia Toure-Savi, the workshop featured carnival-inspired characters representing food groups, sparking questions like, what carnival character would you be if you were what you eat? As a form of critical engagement, participants expressed their reflections through worksheets designed for drawing and coloring, developing a personal visual language to communicate their relationship with food. This approach balances the internal and external worlds, linking personal well-being with complex issues of food security, inflation, and climate change. Building the knowledge gap around best practices is essential to driving sustainable investments in contemporary museum initiatives. While artist residencies are typically seen as a chance for artists to step away from daily life, providing dedicated time and space to explore new ideas and deepen their practice, this creative residency program encouraged artists to reflect on their situatedness within the External Relations Department and wider central bank institutions. This experience broadened my understanding of an artist's potential impact, supporting the development of educational offerings that blend my artistic practice with opportunities for teaching and community engagement. Although the environment fostered community involvement and supported idea development, balancing the demands of creating artwork while actively participating in both the museums and the bank's programs was challenging. The process of preparing for a solo show after a year could have felt less isolating, with more opportunities for group collaborations with others working on similar projects or in similar ways, particularly within the distinctive setting of a bank. Alternatively, dedicating a portion of the residency to virtual engagement could enable artists to produce work and connect with others in creative communities without needing to relocate physically. Virtual residencies also reduce the cost for both organizers and participants, making residencies more accessible to a wider range of artists, especially those facing financial, physical, or logistical barriers. As digital communication becomes increasingly sophisticated, virtual residencies are shaping the landscape of artists' development, fostering global creative networks that transcend location. Caribbean museums have a unique role in engaging the region's diverse communities, whose complex histories of migration and cultural exchange shape the Caribbean identity. As museums shift to adapt to digital and hybrid forms of engagement, they have the potential to shift from being solely preservers of history and tradition to becoming active incubators of innovation and participation. Co-imagination serves as a transformative pedagogical approach that decentralizes power in museums. It redefines artists, educators, and communities as co-creators of knowledge, granting each the agency to imagine and construct shared futures. This interconnected approach between art, education, and social change reinforces museums' role as a dynamic space for growth and mutual learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Camille. Quite informative. We loved your work, at least I loved your work. If you have, the floor is now open for any questions that you may have.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say how proud and motivational that was. So congratulations to the team. It was very inspirational in terms of all of the areas you guys were able to touch, sort of community engagement, youth advocacy, the mention of food security, and the inclusion of environmental issues. So taking the museum beyond what it traditionally represents and really sort of giving it back over to the community. So congratulations.
We have a few more minutes. Let's make full use of it. 5 minutes? Okay, we have 5 minutes.
Hi everyone. So as Camille mentioned, I'm the senior curator at the Central Bank Museum. The idea of doing the residency came to us pre-pandemic, but of course everything shut down. But I think it happened for the good because we had some years to actually think about how we wanted to craft the program. As far as our knowledge, there aren't any other corporate entities in Trinidad offering artist residencies. And what we hope is that through this, Camille is our inaugural resident, through this that we would have other entities, other banks, other institutions adopting artists and working with them. There were a lot of hiccups in the residency. It was the first one. It didn't happen exactly how we wanted it, but we do think that at the end of the day it was a success, and I think Camille's presentation shows that. We plan to do another iteration in 2026. Well, sorry, we skipped 2024, so we're planning to do another iteration in 2025 next year. Because we really needed that break to assess the program and see what we could improve. So Camille was one of 2 residents. So the bank has a museum, but we also have an auditorium space. So Alana was the performing arts resident. And she also had a final show and a full show in the auditorium. Camille had access to the entire exhibition space and whatever support and materials she needed. And we really could not have done this without the support of management. So the idea is we have an event early in December where we want to invite other corporate bodies to come and learn about the program, and how they too can support artists within Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you all for listening, and thanks to Camille for to make this presentation.
And though this has started in Trinidad, maybe it will spread throughout the Caribbean. Okay? So be free to contact Naima, Camille, if any of you are interested in learning more about this residency and their program. Any more questions? We may have like about 2 minutes more. 2 minutes? Any more questions, or if you just want to say what you think about it? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Seba.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sharifa Balfour, originally from Trinidad, but I live in Seba now. And I just wanted to say, fantastic job to you guys. I cannot begin to imagine how hard it was to embark on something so brand new, something that has never been done before, to, you know, blaze a trail. I loved your artwork. It's so very Trinidadian. And, you know, it's been a while I've seen some artwork that has moved me. Because, you know, just how you incorporated the African elements and the Indian elements, and it's just very Trinidadian. I don't have any other words to describe it. So I want to say congratulations to you guys. You've given me some ideas to take to the Dutch Caribbean, and I'm quite happy about it. And I do look forward to other iterations. I know sometimes it's very hard for us when we start a program to continue doing it. But I do wish you much success, and I do hope that this program has a very, very long and fruitful lifespan.
So thank you so much. And before we end, you wanted to say something? Okay, before we end, I just need to thank our sponsors and hosts once again. We couldn't have done this without them. So the Ministry of Culture of Panama, Mi Cultura, Smithsonian Institutions Reckoning with Our Racial Past, Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Cultures, Office of Strategic Partnership, the Secretaria Nacional de Ciencia, Tecnología e Innovación, SENACIT, the Historic New Orleans Collections, Biomuseo, Red de Museos y Centros de Visitantes, the French Embassy in Panama, the US Embassy in Panama, La Tapa del Coco, Fish Trap, Copa Airlines, and the Print and Design Solution. And I was asked also to remind, there are some of you who are on a wait list, or if you want to go